Comedian Bill Maher and fitness icon Jillian Michaels did not hold back in bashing Saturday Night Live during a Club Random podcast episode, calling out the late night show for portraying MAGA as racist.
The two were discussing a specific sketch where Tom Hanks played a MAGA supporter. Here's a look.
I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No, please.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome in Black Jeopardy anytime.
And here was Maher and Michaels responding to that sketch.
When he was on Saturday Night Live...
I hated it too, and I said it on my show. I know.
What?
I hated it. Wearing the MAGA hat, not shaking hands with a black person. Right. And that's when I thought, you people don't know MAGA people. You're just hysterical, and you're not helping.
You know, I want to just jump in first here because I don't think that this argument, I think there are fringes in the party of racism and racist people, and I think it's important to point that out. But also there are leaders in the party that do bigoted and say racist things. I was looking for most recently, because it's easy to find, but most recently when that Mexican ship hit the Brooklyn Bridge. Let me read out what a MAGA supporter said. In an absolutely stunning modern metaphor, a ship blaring Mexican music and flying a massive Mexican flag destroyed the Brooklyn Bridge. And then here goes Laura Loomer commenting, they sent their tired, poor, huddled masts. And it's like, what does the Mexican music and the flag have to do with, if it was an American ship that hit the Brooklyn Bridge, it would be a problem. When, you know, any bridge collapse or any issue happens, it's a problem to figure out what went wrong with the sailing, not the fact that they're Mexican or that a flag was waving. These are bigoted statements. And so when people leading your party do and say things like Trump trying to convince people that Kamala perhaps wasn't black, or going to NABJ and, you know, acting a fool. You know, these are all things that are leading toward the side of racist. And so when the top of the party calls people from Haiti S-hole countries and things like that, that would lead me to believe that there are people that follow Trump and others that are MAGA that also are racist. That does not mean the whole party should be painted with a broad stroke brush.
No, it doesn't. I actually don't agree with Bill Maher and Jillian Michaels on this one, even though I often do like what Bill Maher has to say. I wonder if he only saw the clip, the part where they're not going to shake hands. So if you watch that segment, the Tom Hanks as a MAGA person, it is actually not anti-MAGA at all. The segment does not portray the Tom Hanks MAGA character as racially prejudiced. It is, in fact, one of the, and there were two segments like this, and I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know if the second one is bad or portrays MAGA as racist, or I don't agree with it. I'm only talking about the first one, which is years and years and years old, by the way. This is an old SNL segment. It's like one of the only times I've ever laughed at SNL in my life. I don't think SNL is funny at all.
At all?
Where humor goes to die for the most part. But this one was funny, but the premise of it is actually very colorblind, is that the Tom Hanks character actually, so on Black Jeopardy, they bring in, like, there's an episode where they bring in like a white professor of black studies who doesn't understand the questions because he doesn't actually, you know, he knows black people in like an academic sense, but he doesn't have actual black people in his life. Whereas the Tom Hanks character, because he like, everyone on that stage is like, a more economically disadvantaged person, so he has the same cultural references and the same things as they do, and he can actually answer the questions. So it's more about how they all like realize they have things in common, despite, you know, the tensions that are present in the time, like Black Lives Matter or whatever. So there's actually something very intelligent about the sketch, that it's not trying to say MAGA people are racist. It's trying to say that people the media is portraying as racially at odds may have more in common than the media acknowledges, which is a good point. So I don't agree with it at all. I thought it was a funny segment. It was not what you expected, and it was good.
I think Bill Maher also has another intention in this, is to befriend President Trump. We know that he's been on a bait and switch tour where he met with or spoke to Trump, and they had a good dialogue, and he said, oh, wow, many things that I said about him out the window. I actually like this guy. And so now everything that comes out of his mouth is through the guise of, this is my new friend, and I want to keep it that way, because when people are Trump's friends, he does them favors and puts them in positions and does little things like that. And so I think this is very intentional, that every comment we hear from him now in the last few months has been very either ambiguous or pro-Trump, which is an interesting pivot for Bill Maher.
But what about Jillian Michaels? Jillian Michaels, I believe a lesbian, this big Hollywood celebrity fitness type person. She said, I was a Democrat. I'm every intersectional thing. And I cannot stand the Democratic Party. They have lost me totally for identity politics reasons. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there and a lot of opportunity I see in the Democratic Party to decide what the way forward is and to rebrand. And Jillian Michaels is speaking for a lot of different Americans. Now, if Bill Maher is on the same page or just using this to benefit himself, I guess we'll just see down the line what type of government position he gets, since Trump hands those out so easily to people with limited government experience. We'll just see how this all plays out. But for Jillian Michaels, I think she's actually sharing real concerns, if those are her concerns, about where the Democratic Party is headed. And it's an opportunity now that Republicans are in power and maybe not going as well as they had planned on the campaign trail, for Democrats to figure out how to take back people like Jillian Michaels.
Well, we've got a lot more to talk about on Rising. Stay tuned. More's coming up right after.